Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Time Traveler's Coin Exchange. We are going to start episode 2 of cracking a metal box that I collected foreign coins with in my 20s. For the first episode, we had a lot of Canadian coins, and so I thought I would try to go through those first. We're still have maybe a roll left of Canadians in here, and so I'm gonna see to stabilize this piece of paper so it doesn't shuffle around. But we've got a few, or no, this is not a Canadian, that's a Bermuda. They are getting harder to find. Here's one. We've gone back, I think 1932 was the oldest that we saw here, but most of these I found just going through rolls of pennies, looking for wheat pennies and separating copper from zinc. And so we've got quite a few more of these to go, probably less than a roll. But I just figured it was easier to go through all of these. And while doing so, we've gotten to learn a little bit about the history of Canada. We've gotten to see King George V, King George VI, and we've got to see Elizabeth II. It's just been kind of nice getting to see the different varieties for the coins. This is the metal box that we're going through here, and this is about what we have left here. So there's still a good amount. It's going to be several more hours, and look, we've only looked at 2 coins here, and our brand new piece of paper for a background is already super dirty. But the idea here is that if I separate all of the Canadian copper and copper-covered zincs, then we can enjoy the other ones without having a Canadian coin every other time. And I'm putting these into rolls so that it'll be easier to sort through them in the future. But we've probably only got about 50 of these left to go, maybe even less. They're starting to become harder to find in the box here, but I did find a nice little pile over here. Gonna take a few out. And so these are pretty much, it looks like 1932 is the oldest that we found, and 2000 is the newest. And so we noticed around 1964 the Die Gratia changed to just DG, and so the design changed slightly. We've noticed that the queen seems to get older as the decades go by, and she seems to be adorned by more and more jewelry. We found out that from what it appears, it looks like around 1982, just like in America here, they changed from copper to copper-covered zinc. And so we're seeing some similarities in the way that different governments handled their currency and changed with the times. And we're seeing similar devaluations of currency as happened in the United States. Some of these are a bit damaged. We've seen a 100-year anniversary, we've seen the centennial coin, we've seen the 125-year anniversary, and it also looked like there was like a 135-year one too. The 1977 was it was a different design. But I think my favorite is the centennial, that it looks like maybe it's a dove flying on the front of the coin. We found two coins, 2 1-cent Canadian pieces with like a lamination error. And so that was kind of interesting. So we're seeing similar problems with making coins in different countries and similar solutions and changes to the coins. And it seems like around in 1982, when they changed to a copper-covered zinc, they became this 12-sided coin. And then around, I think, 1999, we've only seen 1999 and 2000. It seems like around then they changed back to the more traditional circular shape. Pull out some more Canadians so I'm not just digging every other coin. So this looks like it's probably from the 90s because it's 12 shaped. That's one of the beginning 80s. 80s and 90s pretty much have this 12-sided shape. Hello everybody. So we are back. We have some fresh hot coffee. Did a little bit of moving around. Tried to stretch my muscles so that we should be good to go. I think I'm going to probably try to go about till a few minutes before 2:30 here. It's about noon at the moment. There's a couple eBay auctions. I could probably just leave the browser here for a second and go to eBay and bid on the stuff, and I think then the next auction I have ending is about 5 hours from now. So if we're having fun, I'll probably just go and bid on that quickly and come right back. But I've got at least 2 hours before I need to worry about that. Hey, welcome back, Les Likes Coins. Welcome, Bigfoot Silver Hide and Seeker. Hello, guys. So we're almost done with these Canadian 1 cents. This is probably the last tube. We went through about 6 tubes out of this box. I don't think you were here, Bigfoot Silver Hide and Seeker. So this is the metal box we're going through. Check out all the dust on the top. That's how long it's just been sitting there. And we're starting to run out of copper here. There really is a bunch of different coins in here. There is some American. It looks like there's some Buffalo nickels, and there's some root pennies. I see a couple Indian head cents. But we're almost done with Canada. All right, I've got a nice little chunk to keep on going here. And it's felt a lot easier to just pull all these out. And we've gotten to learn a lot about Canadian coins. Looks like quite a few of these have environmental damage on them. 1932 is the oldest one we found, and I don't know, I imagine the Canadian coins, kind of like in the 50s and below, I imagine that they probably have about the same rarity of wheat cents, but I have no idea what ones are key dates and what are not key dates, so it'll be interesting. I'll try to go and do some research after I'm done making these videos and find out more about the coins we've looked at. So it looks like this is the 125-year anniversary in 1992. It was funny, I thought the 1977, I thought that one actually was I feel like we had one 1977 which had a different design. Maybe there was a special coin for that year. Maybe my memory is just not perfect. This one looks pretty new. I'm guessing this is from actually I'm not, must be 80s. Yeah, 81, right before they transitioned. Pardon me, guys, I still have a little bit of cough, but I'm feeling 99% better than I was yesterday. Just glad to actually, I was like, isn't it always happen where it's like you have a good chunk of time to be able to do something you want to do, and then you get a cold right when you're able to. But I'm back on my feet. I was out for the morning and the afternoon all yesterday, just unable to do anything. And somehow I miraculously felt better and was able to stream last night, which was awesome. I'm going to continue to feel awesome too. I'm not going to stop now, but I am going to take care of myself so that I can keep going all weekend. So we've seen a couple lamination errors on these. It seems like we did get a lamination on a copper covered zinc, which I didn't know that they happened the same way. So yeah, we're really starting to get down there. There's an older one. I think the idea was to not have to shuffle around these coins. But I'd definitely say there's less than 50 of these Canadian cents left. And I did just see a George So hopefully we got a good one. But I don't know anything about the mint marks on these. I don't see any mint marks on any of them. And I'm imagining KG is the initials of the person who made the design. So here we've got George VI. And 1944. I think that this is the oldest George VI that we've seen. I have to say the oldest coins definitely seemed like they came from that little drug baggie that was inside here. That's just a Ziploc bag. It just, I remember when I bought like a bunch of them, they sent me like, I bought like 10,000 little baggies to put coins in. And they sent me like probably like 500 little different designs, like with like skulls and stuff. And I'm like, these look like crack bags. I was like, they're totally trying to advertise. I think I'm like selling drugs. I'm selling pennies. I'm a coin dealer, not a drug dealer. Got some more. 1966. This is probably like early 60s. 1963. You said coffee, lads? Coffee time. I so need to get like a to-go thermos for my stream so that my coffee just stays hot. It's like I drank like half of it before I started the stream. And it's already a little bit coin pimp. And so there should be, my guess is we'll probably see coins from about like 10 to 20 different countries. It definitely seems like Canada has a, there just seemed like there was a lot of pennies. I'm thinking that most of the nickels and dimes and quarters that I got, they were probably from circulation. Just got them in change and put them aside. You just don't see them all the time. I feel like I get much less here on the West Coast than I did on the East Coast when I was younger. I found like, you know, if you open like 5 rolls of quarters on the East Coast, you would find a Canadian quarter. I don't know if they've tightened things up at banks or what has happened. Here we've got a little bit older. We've got a 1955. Be cool if Canada had a nice 1955 double die as well. It's kind of some scrapes and scratches on the neck. Yes, I need to. I had a thermos cup, but I noticed that the paint was coming off when I like wore it. It kind of had like a metallic tone to the cup, and I noticed that it was coming off. And it just kind of like freaked me out. Whatever like that metal chromium color was, it just didn't feel like it was healthy to be drinking. So I stopped drinking out of that one and I haven't gotten a new one. Almost just lost the box again. It's like I keep kind of digging holes in it, and the desk, it doesn't quite fit on my desk. And I've almost lost it due to gravity a couple times. Hey, Mac the Knife. We did find some King George V and King George VI. I think the oldest one was 1932. We found one loose in the box, and then there was like a little kind of drug bag, like a little plastic baggie, and that produced quite a few fifths and or George V and VI. And I have no idea where it came from. It wasn't one of my bags, so I think I must have been buying wheat pennies, and someone must have had like some in their collection, or someone gave them to me as a gift, said, "Oh, you collect pennies? Here you go." And I really don't know anything about the older. I don't know a lot about Canada. We've been kind of learning as we go along here. So we've kind of gotten to see the different transitions. We've gotten to see the Queen grow up and become more adorned with jewels. We've gotten to see the lettering kind of change from De Gratia to DG. We've gotten to see the centennial. We've gotten to see the 125-year anniversary. We've gotten to see a bunch of different changes in the Canadian coins, which has been kind of cool. This is the most circulated one I think we have seen. And that's the interesting thing is most of these do not seem like they have been, heavily circulated. And obviously by the time they hit me, they kind of left circulation. Looks like the Queen kind of has maybe it's a scratch, but it kind of looks like she has a double chin there. I know nothing about varieties. I'm just starting to learn them about United States coins. We did see 2 lamination errors. Hopefully we'll find some cool things. And we're almost through the Canadian cents here. It's like I'm kind of having to dig to the bottom of the box to find them now. And I did grab 2 more tubes. This tube is almost full. So hopefully there's another 125 years of O Canada. And so definitely, I think we will be all through these here very, very soon. And we can start moving on to some of the other coins, ones that I've really never even taken the time to see. You got 2 rolls last year. Quite a few in here that look like they're Canadian, but it looks like there are some Bermuda ones. There looks like there are some British ones. They just look very, very, very similar. And I don't know the prices or rarities for any of these here, so definitely after I'm done making these videos, I'm gonna go and try to find out a little bit more about the coins we've looked at. Because definitely when I look at the world coins, I definitely have questions left. It makes my mind think, which I really like. Alright, that roll looks full. Open up another roll. But the whole idea about going through all these was so that I didn't have to just shuffle stuff around. think I might have found them all. So I think we might be moving on to some different coins very, very soon. Looks like I've got maybe 10 more here. I'll maybe take another quick look just so that I can cap off this too. Yeah, I think I've on the East Coast, I feel like I used to see the loonies. I don't see them here on the West Coast at all. But I did like those. This one feels kind of thin. Looks like it's got a little bit of environmental damage. So somewhere I believe I do have just rolls of Canadian cents. I feel like I just would do a roll, and then when it would fill up, I'd roll it off and start another roll. But my intention wasn't necessarily to look at a bunch of Canadians today. It just it seemed when I opened up this box, I haven't really been roll hunting for years. I think 2000 is the most recent coin in here. And there were some coins stacked up on the top, and I have no idea where they came from. But I heard that there's some interesting errors with the loonie. I feel like I can't remember her correct YouTube name, but it's like Youper Girl. I feel like she's really into the Canadian coins and different errors. It seemed like I was watching some videos of hers, and it sounded like she made a lot of money going through them and finding really cool coins. Alright, I'll take a quick look in here, make sure I didn't miss any. There's 1, 2, 4. Yep. They just keep coming. Alright. Nope, there's one more. Another one. Oh, there's a Georgie. Oh! Wow, look at that brand new piece of paper I put down. Alright, I'll save the Georgie for last. It looks like a Georgie the 6th. But it looks like I found about another 10, and then I'm pretty sure that is all of the Canadian 1-cent pieces. So this is a 1982. I'm guessing it is zinc. I don't know if anybody knows if, you know, we've gone to like see a bunch of the transitions. It looks like they turned to a copper covered zinc in 1982. Does anybody know if there is a copper as well as a copper covered zinc? And does anybody know what the purpose of putting the 12-sided design on it? My speculation is that they were attempting to remove all the copper from circulation. Hey Andrew Cooper, welcome. But if anybody knows what the reason for the 12-sided is, I'd love to hear it. I'd love to know if there is a copper 1982. It was funny, we had to wait a long time to actually find a 1982 in all these. And then it seems like around 1999, we were kind of missing a bunch of coins from the mid-90s, but at around 1999 it seems to go back to a circular pattern. This one is damaged. Save the Georgie. Alright, Georgie coming up next. So we're just about to go into some different coins. This is the most circulated coin I think we have seen, but it stands to reason it's probably one of the older ones. 1944. So I'm not sure when George VI started. I feel like maybe we saw a 1942 or a 1940. And let's see. We have 1976 1 cent. I believe this one was Bermuda. We'll flip it over, see if we can find out. Bermuda with Elizabeth II. I guess that looks more like a wild boar than a pig, huh? Don't mess with that piggy. Alright, I think we will pull out a bunch of copper ones here that are about 1 cent. And then once we're done with copper ones, we will move on to the next. There are some wheat pennies in here as well. Looks like a pretty ugly wheat penny here. I'm just going to put these all in the tube here. Here we've got 1988, this 1 penny. So I think, Les, you were saying this is an English penny, like a 1 pence, 1 penny. Will this fit? Nope, we are denied. Alright, next up, Uraka. Not sure if I'm reading that right. $1987. Centésimo. Republic de Panama. So it looks like this is from Panama. That is pretty beat up. Alright, next up another wheat penny. I'm not sure how these got in there. Maybe these were the coins that were balanced on top. And we have a 1 cent starfish. I'm gonna guess this is Bermuda. Commonwealth, Bahamas, 1992. So I'm going to guess that this is a copper covered zinc as well. It's kind of interesting. It's like I wonder if all the different countries essentially use the same planchets to produce their money. So the Bahamas are a commonwealth. Massachusetts is a commonwealth. It's always weird how we talk about states. And what's up with this one? A 1960D. We've even got a memorial cent in here. Well, I think we've all seen a memorial cent before. We've got another wheat penny. Excuse me. But no worries, this is not loaded with wheat pennies. We'll only see a few. 1978D. Maybe almost looked like it had a little cut on it. But I don't know. There was just like a couple piles. When I took the box down, there was like little piles of coins that had been stacked on top of it, and I don't remember doing it. Looks like we had another Canadian cent. Thought I had them all. And we've got a 1940p. Some environmental damage on it. Let's see if I can pull out some more copper looking coins in here. Oh, I'm massacring all these. Looks like a 1 penny, 1 pence. Another 1988. I think that's what the other one was. Mexico. In 1974, centavos, 5 centavos. Commonwealth of Bigfoot. Well, this one, I have no idea looking at this side. It's 1 cent. Looks like a island country. Barbados. 2001, so this is the most recent coin. I think I remember finding this in a roll. It's got a pretty cool design. I almost want to guess like Australia. What is that, like a meerkat? It's a 1 something. Australia, cool. 1989. That's a pretty cute coin. $19.40 wheat cent. Nothing crazy going on with it. Another wheat cent, 1937p. Very, very worn Indian head cent. 18. Looks like it ends in a 5. Maybe 1895. Oh no, it's like I can see like a 7, an 8, and a 9 there. It's pretty much Dunsky. It's pretty heavily corroded. We've got. Okay, that's the one that we saw. This is the British design. That's why I was, when I was looking at, it's just interesting because it's the DG Regina, the De Grata Regina, but then it's also Elizabeth II, which is like basically the same as on the Canadian cent. We've got another extremely worn, probably no date, Indian head cent. I feel like I see 18, or I don't feel like I see an 8, but it's like also the corrosion. And it's like this is the kind of thing, by the time they're that worn, it's like even hard to just zoom in. Seeming like it's getting harder to find little coppers. I've got a couple. 1975, 1 new penny. Make a little stack of those. This looks like, yeah, this looks like it came from that stack on top. 2010p. It's a shield cent. And it looks like we have an Irish coin, a 1 pence piece. 1982. And Ecuador, Banco Central del Ecuador, Bank of Central Ecuador. 1 centavos. Almost looks like there's the year 2000, anno 2000. Republic del Ecuador. Luz de America. seems like a lot of coins, a lot of the world ones seem to have been around 2000. My. Here's a Counter-Strike. So what is that? Founding Fathers doing the Declaration of Independence? That is one of the more intricate Counter-Strikes I've ever seen. Like, there's a lot going on there. I'm assuming that this was done, I don't even remember finding this one. I'm assuming that this was done, like, manufactured, and they made thousands, if not millions, of these. But it is one of the better ones I've seen done. It has more detail than any one I've ever seen before. Looks like the reverse did get flattened out a little bit. It just kind of pressed right on through. But they probably have to do coins like that on a copper cent. Probably if you tried to do that on a non-copper coin, like a zinc one, it would just be disastrous. We've got a Hold 1908 Indian head cent. Pretty much lost any value that it had. Yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool one. And what do we have here? I think that this is just, I think that somehow a stack of pennies just got put on top. So I'm not sure why some of these are in here. We have Un Centesimo de Balboa. Okay, so this is another Republic of Panama. 1996. Urraca. Okay, it was Urraca. The other one was just so scratched up, it was hard to see what it was. I feel like I almost could call this the Canada box. Like, the more I'm digging in here, like, the more coins from Canada I feel like I'm seeing. 1906 Indian head cent. It is pretty worn. And a bent 1907 damaged Indian head cent. It's got some details on the back, but it's pretty well destroyed. This could probably go back in a coal bin. What's the best way to... I guess I could just dump them all out. I know, I feel like... What's happening, folks? Everything just went down a grade. But I just felt like I was shuffling things around, and I just feel like doing it once is less damaging. Now I can at least show you guys the box. It's just kind of a cityscape. It says Belgium on the back, BBF Belgium. And it's like you can see like the rust and kind of corrosion. So I think I'll probably make little piles here. So what is this, a Canadian quarter? 1978. And so I'm imagining probably in the 60s. We had silver, so we've got a little beaver cent. I'm not sure if Canada is the only country to have a beaver on there. The Moose, 1988. Maybe I'll zoom out a little bit since most of these coins are going to be a little bit bigger. Moose is just staring at us. And so I'm guessing that probably most of these ones do not have much value to them other than, I'm not even sure how the Canadian currencies do, and I feel like there used to be a huge difference, like American currency was worth quite a bit more, but I feel like Canada has actually been slowly catching up. Let's see if we can, how old these go. So we got a 1982. Little Canadian dime, 1985. Yeah, this is, I'd say like probably like 60 to 70% of this box seems to be Canadian. So we have Elizabeth II and DG Regina, 1975. And so I'm guessing probably like pre-mid 60s is when we had silver in these. And I don't know about the nickels. I'm assuming that since Canada seems to be pretty close to ours, that they are probably not silver nickels, they're probably nickel nickels. That beaver looks hungry. It's gonna eat me some wood. It's interesting doing the more silvery colored coins here with the microscope. It's not what I'm used to doing on here. And I'm just grabbing the Canadian ones here on top because then I can stack them up pretty evenly in here. I'm wondering what the best thing to do. Like, it doesn't seem like ones from Canada are going to be very difficult for me to get, and so it's like I almost wonder if just like sticking these in some quarter and dime rolls, I could probably get away with it. None of them, I mean, maybe we'll find some old ones in here. Maybe I'm speaking too soon. I'm just afraid that like the way I was like shuffling the stuff around there, it was just scratching everything up. I'll feel really bad if there are some nice coins in here. So well, maybe, I don't know how the nickels change. I don't know how the dimes change. Oh wow, this has some rolling damage on it. It's a pretty damaged dime. That seems like most of these are like kind of 70s and 80s. Here we've got a 1994. It looks the part. Much less scraped up than the others. I guess I could save these if I ever like go for a trip to Canada. I assume that it would still work as currency there. What to do? That beaver still got some hair on it. Seems like some of the beavers we were looking at were kind of hairless there. And this is not. It's a Libertador, Bolivar. Republic de Venezuela, 1978, 25 centimos. Got a horse. Almost looks like a, I'm not sure what's on the top. I almost want to see like a dragon. Almost looks like a peacock or a tree. And we've got a 1972 25-cent piece. This is the smallest quarter I've ever held. Juliana Koningen, the Netherlands. Got another Canadian dime, this one from the 60s. It'd be interesting to see if they change at all as time goes through. So another Canadian dime. I'm imagining the change probably wouldn't happen until like 1964. $1984. This is different. I don't, is this Greece? 1998. I can't pronounce that. Ionic Amokapataya. Anybody? Wow, that looks like Christopher Walken. What do you guys think? The guy has some hair. It's got character. And 68 was the last year. I mean, it felt like steel. I guess I can leave it out, but that's good to know. Thank you. It looks like we have another Christopher Walken coin. And I mean no disrespect for this gentleman here. I think Christopher Walken is pretty cool. But I had my sister went to Greece for a couple of years. That's why I think that is probably a coin from Greece. But I could be wrong. 1981. Welcome, Pat's Piling Pennies, by the way. We're probably gonna, I was thinking that this might be a few more episodes, but now that we have all the pennies and stuff out of the way, I feel like we hopefully will be able to get through the rest of this box. And I'd show you the box. I did just empty it out. I'm guessing this is another one from Greece. That guy looks like he could be sculpted. I guess someone did sculpt it into a coin. Society des Bains de Mor. Casino de Monte Carlo. Huh. Looks like we have Monte Carlo. I don't know if, what is that? Is that 50 cents? What's the parentheses mean? Is that $50? I feel like in some countries they use the parenthesis instead of like a period or a decimal point. I'm not even sure if the Monte Carlo is still in existence. But this is an interesting one. I thought I assume that this is just like bronze or something. It feels pretty heavy. I doubt it's gold. But I don't know, maybe I'll leave that one out. If that's worth $50, maybe I can sell it on eBay. Not super into casino tokens, but they do have history. They are kind of cool. Guessing this one is Greek too. Kind of cool. It all looks so serious. We have a Canadian quarter, 1968. Did you say the quarters are half of them steel too? I think you just said that 68 is the last year, and dimes, half were silver, half were steel, quarters are the same. This one almost feels like it's like tin or aluminum. And it's not giving me much to work here. I don't have Coinoscope. I keep meaning to get it. I really should. It would probably, I don't know how many seconds it takes to scan a coin and identify it, but it would probably bring up facts and stuff about, not only let you know where it's from, but also kind of give some more information. That would make a pretty good stream. This one here is pretty scratched, but it's I could take world coins and we could scan them and find out where they're from and find out more about them. That sounds like a pretty good idea. 1975. A lot of these definitely seem to have rolling damage. And at least I know I didn't do that to them when it's like a circular pattern like that. But I think we've already seen quite a few quarters and dimes and nickels now from, we'll check the dates, we'll just look to see, but I won't spend as long on them because I think we have all seen them now. So this looks like another one from Greece, 1992. So it's like, if I was to make a guess, I'd want to say like these are all like famous like philosophers. Maybe they're presidents and, you know, modern, but they just look, you know, they look like ancient philosophers to me. And this one as well. And they're all seeming to fit into the same kind of time frame. I believe this is when my sister lived in Greece for a couple years. Grab a big one. Got an Irish 10 pence. The Irish trout of wisdom. Or is it the salmon of wisdom? Why I cannot not remember. So this would probably be one that I brought back from Ireland as a kid. Just because I don't think that I was finding them in roll hunting. Georgius the Fifth. So this would probably, like, wouldn't that like put this like back in like the 1930s or something? 1920. Florin. So I don't know as much about these ones. Is this a British florin? One florin. That doesn't quite sound right. You think it's Christopher Walken too? Yeah, that's definitely what I thought. It's like pretty cool of them to put a coin with him on it. I'd almost collect them just for that. The guy's got character. Makes me want some cowbell. This channel needs more cowbell. Georgius V. De Gratis Brit. Rex. Don't know what FT int, and I don't know what they're implying by putting an imp on there. Imperial, Imperious. Indignatius Imperious. Yeah, I feel like it's got that silver, it's got harps on it, it's got lions, and more lions. All we need is like a lion playing a harp here. I like this one. Canadian nickel, anyone? 1968. And so I'm assuming that all these nickels are nickels. British and Irish. Could it like maybe did like Northern Ireland have its own kind of like currency? This looks so much older than 1980. It's so kind of funny. And I don't know. I have no idea. I feel like we saw one of these in the last, when I opened up the safe. It's not super old, so it's not going to kill me. Looks like a 2-pence piece. Hey, Andrew Cooper. I think that florin is my favorite one so far we have seen here. I don't know. I'd be interested to see what that Monte Carlo casino token is worth. Excuse me. 1 penny. 1967. See, this is what a penny should be like. That's my opinion. Like, I would much rather have pennies that were like this. Like, that's a real penny. I mean, I love the Flying Eagle 1 cents, but like, I totally feel like people were getting ripped off. It's like if you went and tried to take your penny to you went to try to take your Flying Eagle cent to another country in like 1857, 50, and they're like, what the heck is that? It's tiny, and it's not even pure copper. It's, part of it's nickel. Like, basically made your American currency not worth anything anywhere else you go. But it's like, I can't even believe that like they were still making these in 1967. Like, they're just so much cooler. I give so much more respect for coins like that. Here we've got a 1980. Is that like a little rooster and a little like medical, like little serpents wrapped around a medical, like a staff? Survey says. Netherlands. I feel like I'm seeing a couple of these. They look like maybe like a New York City subway token. One fare. New York City Transit Authority. I assume that, I don't know if they still use these. Good for one fare. Transit Authority. Any more of those? What's this one? Metropolitan Transit Authority. One fare. This one's got like a sharp corner. Oh wow, I've got a couple of these. Another one fare. It's interesting how they have like the kind of webbing design and then it is printed on top of it. It's kind of a cool effect. Let's see any more of those to get out of the way. Uh-oh, I found my lucky penny. It's my lucky penny. 4-leaf clover and a horseshoe. All on a lucky penny. Almost looks like it was done on a zinc penny, just the way that like underneath all the lettering is bleeding. It's a magnet? No, the magnet is gone. It'd be fun to make one of those machines. Hey Paul Hampton, welcome. Yeah, we've just gotten through most of the Canadian cents. Here's a random, I guess we missed a copper. Just a random, we still got some nickels and dimes and quarters from Canada, but I think we went through 3, 6, 7, nearly 8 rolls of Canadian cents. We got ones back to 1932, I think is the oldest one we found. And this is just a random box. Most of this stuff is just stuff I found roll searching, just US coins. And so this looks like a krone. So I'm trying to remember, is this, it says Denmark on it. I'm just trying to remember, is that Holland or is this like the Czech Republic? I can't remember. I went to a lot of different places. Some of this is obviously from a lot of the stuff that I collected would probably be between like 1980 and 2000. But I'd have to look up krone. I like it. This coin's got hearts. And I guess we did miss one. Here's another New York City Transit Authority. One is a little bit more worn for the wear. Looks like it got quite a few people there fair. Put that in our little tokens. I'm going to guess that all of these, it looked like there was a couple buffalo nickels when I was looking at it. I'm guessing they are all dateless. And if there is one, it would probably actually be easier trying to read it with my eyes if there is one. Or not. Let's see. That's the problem with the microscope, is by the time things are that faded, it's usually pretty hard to see. I think that we're not going to be able to see the date on that. Alright, next up, 1971. So it sounds like from what we've learned, that's a steel cent. See if we can find any from the early 60s in here. It's definitely possible. 1981. We've definitely seen quite a few of these now. 73. A little Irish coin here. It's got some of the original bull hair on it. Is it a bull? Yeah. Little 5-pence piece. Kind of almost looks like a Taurus. 1996. I look at least at the fact that the Euros, they still have some of the design on them. You know, they have kind of integrated them. Well, a lot of these Canadian coins have just been like slashed, like both sides on a lot of these. It's just curious that they I thought that maybe I had scratched them, but maybe the banks do it. Like a lot of them have been X'd out on both sides. So here's maybe that's someone checking for silver. So we got another 1968. So maybe, I think you were saying I can take a magnet to them to see if they stick their steel. $19.80. $19.72. Yeah, this one's got an X on them too. Which is curious because these would have come from many, many, many different rolls. It's not like I bought rolls of. We've got a 5-pence piece. $19.92. So is this British? Because it doesn't look like the Irish pence, or at least to my memory. It's kind of like a thistle plant with a crown above it. Alright, I will pull a magnet. I don't think I have one at my desk here. Maybe there'll be another lucky penny there with a magnet attached, or maybe the magnet from the lucky penny is like loose in the box here, but I definitely have. Yep, see, this quarter has been X'd out. Or at least almost all these Canadian coins have like slashes straight across the middle. This one's kind of missing it on the reverse. Maybe they just didn't do a good job. British 5-cent piece. Oh, these are one of my favorite here. Irish 50 pence. Like these were some of my favorite. Like I would change in my change to be able to like get these. These are the ones I always wanted to bring home. It's like a solid piece of metal. This one's just fun to play with, and I think that's what it was. Like it was just, they felt fun to play with. Hey Dutch Silver Pirate, welcome. And here's another one. I think the other one was in a little bit better condition. 1988. Oh yeah, those guys stack pretty good. Alright, next up, I'm gonna guess this one is from Greece as well. That Brina, 1992. This is a big one. I don't know what 100 a paymu is. A paxmu. I don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced. Like, hey Mel, Fierce Fitness, George, welcome. Hello, 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 all. We're just going through this box. Most of these were found roll hunting, but some of them were gifts, some of them were from travels, and some of them apparently I have no idea where they came from. Most of the world coins, it seems like, are from about 1980 to 2000. However, we did find, here I'll pull out, or it's still out, but I believe this one is from Greece as well. The lettering's just matching up and it makes sense to me. But I'd say the coolest one that we have found so far was, this is like the oldest, it's like 1920. It looks like it says 1 florin, and Les was pointing out that it's got the lions and the Irish harp. And it looks like, I think it was Rex the Fifth, or I'm sorry, George the Fifth on the front. And this one is possibly silver. I feel like it would make sense that it would be. They actually had money back then. 90% better. I almost feel like that random cough is getting a little less random here. Alright, it does look like we have another 50 pence piece. So what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is it a 7-sided coin? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How unique. And 1998. I feel like I hadn't seen those in a long time. A Greek coin, and it looks like we're back to Canada here for a second. As Gore would say, Canada. I know the laws in Canada. You can't say the rest on YouTube. It's a silly band. I think they're actually still going. I remember when my sister went to a Gore show, she came back and I guess everyone was supposed to wear white or something, and then they just like spray the crowd with fake blood, and so like it just looks like they couldn't do it anymore. I don't think. I mean, I think they still play, so maybe they still do, but like she comes back just like head to toe covered in like fake blood, and it's just like everybody pouring out of the concert place looked like there had been a bloodbath. It's like another Canadian quarter. We've seen quite a few Canadians today, to say the least. But I believe I've never been to Canada, and I believe just the reason that they are is because their coins are the same size and they fit in rolls very easily. And so I know I'm going through these ones a little bit faster, but it's just because I know you guys have seen 100 of these, and they're not. It's not like we're looking at super old ones. They're not in super perfect condition. And if I see anything different, I will definitely slow down. I've got like a half a roll of Canadian quarters here now on this one. Looks like some priority tape was on this one. And our poor little salmon of knowledge here. Salmon or trout? Where's my memory? I got corrected in the last stream. Almost looks like a little planchet flaw. Maybe that is just actually from that tape I just pulled off. Maybe it's just sticky and just looks like it goes down. 1993. It's got... See, this is like, I feel like a 10-cent piece should be bigger than a 5-cent piece. I don't understand dimes in this country. They always seem silly to me. those sevens, they just go on forever. Gotta be even with the 9. Gotta be even. $19.79 Moose. I can't remember. I feel like the quarter has a different design on the reverse. I just don't know what year it starts. Got another Canadian nickel. See if we can blow through some of this Canada. Okay, it's 130. I thought for a second it was almost 230. I was like, oh, I gotta go bid on that eBay auction. But I think we might actually get through these. These are going much faster. See, this is one of those X'd out. Oh, it's a 1968. Maybe, I'm gonna take a wild guess and all these dimes are steel. That one looks like it had some corrosion on it, and I don't think so. But I'm thinking that whoever put them in, they were ones that failed the magnet test, and they put an X on them so that the next time they came through circulation, they would know that they had already checked it, and it was saving them the time of checking the coin every time. You just sent $26 face value Canadian coins to why can't I say his name? Non-conformative conformist. I know who you're talking about, or at least I believe I know who you're talking about. I believe it's a abbreviation of his name. So it looks like a 20 pence piece. Sometimes you need a 20 pence piece. I think we almost have a typeset just for the Irish coins there now. We definitely have a typeset for the Canadians. We've got a 5 pence. It sounded like this was a British one here. Put it in our little pile. It's funny, like what I read, like it's like I read some words 1,000 times and then I go to like say it, and it just doesn't come out. It's kind of hilarious. Confrontational nonconformist. Hey, Stanley Diggs Metal Detecting, welcome. And so we've got a bit of Canadian coins in here, but there is still a lot. It looks like this one might be France. Liberté, Égalité, Fraternite, 20 centesimes, 1969. It's got some really tiny letters up there. Maybe that's the designer's name. We've got something different now. We've got a square coin. This is a Ruba. Handshake, a ship steering wheel, a crown, and it looks like an island with waves. And this one has that same, or it's like the little medical symbol, like the little serpents going around a staff. I feel like the other one had a rooster, and this one almost looks like a bird taking flight. It's like almost like when they like designed the coins, it was like somebody was like, okay, these are your options. These are the stamps we can put on coins. What would you like? I guess this one's not quite square, but it's definitely different. So I'm guessing this is like a 50-cent piece, basically. But C's could mean something totally different there. I know, for some reason this feels like kind of like it's supposed to be very elite. It kind of reminds me of like a silver bar. Like just one of those like little like silver stacking bars. It gets a point for originality. I mean, it almost seems like it would be easier to make square coins, but I don't know. 1989. I've been enjoying doing the coins from the vault episodes, but it's definitely been nice to take a little break here and like look at something different than wheat pennies. Looks like another Greek coin, 1990. Our favorite, it's the Christopher Walken coin again. How cool. It's nice to see him get like proper recognition. Maybe Christopher Walken is just trying to look like this guy, but pretty cool looking. I thought this was another Canadian one. It's a little 5-pence piece. Little Irish coin. 1992. I think they're like the exact same size. $1985 Canadian. It's my belly's trying to tell me it's time to eat. It's not time. Ooh, we got a Philippine coin again. 10 centavos. We had one of these last time, but it was much older. This one looks like it's silver to me. Central Bank of the Philippines. Which was interesting actually, because after looking at the last one on the when I opened up the safe, I noticed that it said United States of America, and I was like, wait, they're not a colony. They're not, you know, like, wait, what? When was the Philippines part of the United States? And so like that, the curiosity of the question of like, wait, why is United States on it, made me go back to like figure out why United States was on the Philippines coin. And like take everything I say with a grain of salt, but it sounded like in like 1898 or so we went to war with Spain, and maybe we were at war with Spain before then too, but like we went to war with them, and we basically like fought them back, and one of their last remaining kind of like places, like colonies, was like the Philippines. And so we basically like attacked the Philippines, even though the Filipino people had just declared independence from the Spanish people, and but we still went and took it, and you know, protected them from Spain, which just seems like a very American thing to do. But whatever, we're not here to bash on countries. We're here to look at coins. But so then it sounds like for a while. They had like Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco minted coins, and they had Manila coins, and so there would be an M mint mark on them. But then eventually they'd get their independence again. But so this is interesting to see a later coin and see United States of America removed from the coin. And so we basically took over the Spanish, the mint that the Spanish had set up there, that Spain had set up there. But it's interesting to just see them rework the coin, because the front, from my memory, it's the same. It's the woman hitting the anvil with a hammer with a mountain and kind of like island behind. And I thought the coin itself looked really beautiful. It reminded me of very kind of early, kind of, I know, it reminded me of like Walking Liberty, kind of. But I thought the coin, this one's not in as good a condition. But it sounded like some of those early coins, especially the proof ones, are like worth when I tried to look up the value of like Filipino coins, they were worth, like some of the early ones were worth a lot of money. And it was actually more surprising than I thought. Like I usually am only in the US coins on eBay. And when I started to trying to look at different world coins through different countries, it was actually more difficult to navigate through the world coins than I thought. I thought you could just go to a country, but it's like everything's kind of broken up into different areas. It was much, I've never really explored the world coins. Usually, if I run into foreign coins, it's like ancient coins. It's like stuff that's been found metal detecting and stuff. Um, so that was kind of a trip. I've been thinking about maybe buying, I have a PCGS registry set, and they just did some kind of new thing where I'm trying to think, like, it's like you can try to win awards and medals, and so if you start like a world coin collection, if you start like a African coin collection, or like the quarter set thing, like you get points, and if you get first place, highest graded set, you get points and stuff. And so I was trying to see how I could get up to the maximum amount of points, because it just seemed fun to do. It'd be cool if they gave out prizes for it. They need to like give people reason to do it other than it's fun. Right, looks like we've got some Canadian, but I guess that's one of the things I've enjoyed looking at the world coins, is like they do make me ask questions. Like it's like now like looking at all the Canadian cents earlier, now I have questions. Here we've got a half penny, 1938. I love these ones. I don't know what it is about. I like ship sun coins. I think that they're really cool. I think I actually found quite a few of these, and they look like they're in MS condition of all places in my moldy shed. There was just an old tin, like a tea tin, and inside it were a couple pennies, and then there were some of these, and they all looked like the day they were struck, with a little bit of tea on them, but the tea didn't seem to affect them. So that was cool. It just looked like someone had put them in there a long time ago. And so I'm assuming that this one is British. It seems like it matches all the other British ones we saw. And I feel like, I don't know if it is this coin, but I feel like I've seen some of these coins, kind of like ones with ships on them. I feel like there were a couple, and I don't know if there was just like a rare one, but I feel like I've seen a couple of them that seemed like I saw some maybe they were high grade. I just saw some high priced ones. I was like, whoa. I know nothing about these other than when I've seen them, I've really enjoyed looking at them. Almost looks like a hawk or something, like sitting on the back of the boat there. You'd think it would be up in the hawk's nest up at the top. This one's got 3 hawk nests on it. I'd say, like, I don't know, like some ones like this I find really fun, but it's like I feel like the British coins, they have a lot of soul to them. I don't know. There's a lot of things I like about them. Is this? I'm trying to remember. Is this Australia? I feel like we saw one of these when I opened up the safe as well. Australia, 1967. And I feel like when I was a kid, I could tell you what kind of lizard this was. And for some reason I can't remember. It's amazing how, like, I feel like it reminds me of a Married with Children episode I saw where, like, I think, like, Kelly Bundy was on, like, a trivia show, and she was, like, answering all the questions right. The only problem was every time you fed her a new piece of information, she forgot one other thing. But as long as you fed her the right information, she was, like, unstoppable. And then it's like, I feel like somewhere at the end of the show, right before the end, right before she won everything, like she learned some completely useless piece of information. A golden hind. Nice. I was watching somebody's video the other day, and like I paused it and I was like looking at the bookshelf behind them, and there was totally like a box set, like special edition of like Married with Children. And I was like, I remember that show. So true and so warped. Wow, I think I'm gonna have a full roll of Canadian dimes by the time I'm done here. And I definitely have over a half a roll of Canadian quarters. Maybe we'll, I don't think, I see a lot more dimes. I don't see a lot more quarters. Looks like another coin from Grace. We've got another boat. I think that British halfpenny, I like the boat design on it better. Good. I guess it would be more, this would probably have like oars. Where's all the oars? I guess it's got a sail. I just feel like I would imagine oars on this boat as well. What do you think? Dateless? We've got another buffalo nickel. Looks like this one has a little bit more detail than the last one. Dun 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 dun. They had to know that, like, if they put the date on the highest device on the coin. I mean, they'd been making coins for over 100 years by this point. I know. It's just worn. I mean, we can stare at it for an hour, but I believe there's people that have like huge boxes full of dateless ones. Yep, see, this 1968 has an X through it. Almost looks like there's a copper colored inside to it. But somebody definitely was marking all these up. 1980, and I don't know if like banks did it, but like if a bank was doing it, how did they all get back into circulation? Something just doesn't seem right here. 1976. Looks like it was in with a bunch of corroded pennies. Seems like all these dimes like picked away all the bigger coins, and we're just left with a pile of Canadian dimes. Oh, we found another Canadian penny. It can go in the roll. And we have a nickel, 1959. Denver Mint. Anybody know? I'm not as much into nickels. I feel like 1959 mint marked ones, I feel like they're a lower mintage. It is pretty worn, but I'd have to look it up. Maybe it's a night. I can't remember. If anyone knows, 1959 D. Common. Alright. It shall go back in the pile. We shall not worry about it. It's another one. 1961. Denver. In 1979. Anyone know if Big Y is still a thing? It was a supermarket when I was a child. Often imitated, never equalized. Never equaled, sorry. Present to cashier. But what is it? Is it worth something? Big Y Express Reward. Thanks for your loyalty. It's a 6-star business. Which is coincidentally, I think, made by the same company that brings you Alcoholic Anonymous tokens. Self be true, service, recovery, unity, to thine own. So this, I believe, is a 6-month token, which would mean that whoever was the owner of this, almost looks like the Masons or the Illuminati. Doesn't this look like that triangle with like the all-seeing eye? We're watching you. We know if you've been drinking. Look into the eye. And then you can turn it over, and you've got your 9-month token. I'll let you guys read this. Alright, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Trademark and registered. And look, the all-seeing eye, Soren from Lord of the Rings. Guess that's different looking. But yeah, amazing. It kind of is like a cult, I agree. Alright, time for something completely different. We've got another boat coin. This one looks pretty cool. It's like a dragon boat, and it's like the oars kind of look like, it's like, imagine like 500 years ago, like seeing that like coming down the river, not coming to shore. It's like, oh. Looks like it had sails as well. So we have the Bank of Korea, 1972. So I'm trying to think, like, so is this pre-Korean War then? Is this pre... Because it's not the Bank of South Korea, it's not the Bank of North Korea, it's Korea. So I feel like maybe I need to read my history books again. These are things that I should know. People died. Like, sometimes I feel bad. I know, I feel like I pushed out like a lot of stuff I learned in history, just because I learned a lot of stuff that I don't know, it's like, say like when you start learning, like when you start going to college and learning about history, the stuff you learned in high school and junior high and like your entire childhood, when your professors start telling you things that like don't jive, it's kind of like when you get dinosaur books at school and then you go to church and your like Sunday school teacher is telling you that like God created Earth, and you're like, wait, but what about dinosaurs? And like you start like trying to debate evolution with them, and then they like gets like you get in trouble for like questioning, and then it's like, wait, why wouldn't God want me to question? Why wouldn't he want me to think? Why wouldn't he want, and I didn't mix well with Sunday school. I forget what the point of this was. Meow. But yeah, I forget. Oh yeah, so like I started going to college for like history class, and like I start learning. See, and it's like my memory's not perfect, but it's like before the Declaration of Independence or whatever. Like we had like we had the colonies, and like there was like the Articles of Confederation, I believe. I believe that's what it was called. And so basically we had like, I believe 12 presidents before George Washington. And I believe this was all after the American Revolution. And so basically like people fought and died in the American Revolution. We were fighting with the British over tea taxes. And I don't know, it's like, so people, like the American people won, but like they didn't want a president to have the same power that a king had, and so they imposed strict restrictions on things. A president only lasted for 1 year because they just figured that anyone who was in that position would become corrupt. And so we had the Articles of Confederation or Confederacy with the presidents, and then basically the rich white men in America who helped fund overthrowing the war, they weren't able to tax the people. Everyone was basically equal. And so all the rich white men met in secret, behind closed doors, away from any of their constituents, among any of the people who voted for the president, and they elected themselves their own president, George Washington, who became the first president of the United States. However, we already had a country, the country of the people that overthrew the government. So what kind of bullshit is that? And why don't they teach you about the Articles of Confederation and about the country that the people that fought the war in the American Revolution created? And then they tell you that George Washington was the first president. And if I sound like conspiracy bullshit here, sorry guys. This is just what my teacher taught me, and it like made me go, what? It totally like made me question stuff, and I was like, yeah, that sounds really messed up. We got another cool boat coin. Let's talk about boat coins. But it's like, when I learn things like that, it just makes me really say, it kind of like messes with my head. So another nice half penny here. But I guess that's another reason that I like coins and stuff, is because it's like I can go all the way back to the colony days. There used to be things like, free trade, like they didn't tax between the colonies. And now it's like you go, now we have like, basically like internet tax is like taxes between the states, while before they made it so that you couldn't tax somebody for doing business in another state. But because it's on the internet, all of a sudden we have tax on interstate commerce, which that was supposed to be a no-no. There was supposed to be free trade. So here we have another beautiful Australian. It's a 2 lizard piece. And this one looks like it's 1981. Actually, speaking of free travel, it's like, I know I've known about it for years, but I was just seeing an article this morning, and it was saying that like the majority of Americans are now going to need to get a new license if they want to go on an airplane, even domestically here in the United States. What's up with the right of like freedom to travel. And I know that this has been planned forever, and I know that. So California here, because of like sanctuary laws in different cities and allowing immigrants to have driver's license, so that people are licensed driving around and have IDs, so that if they get in an accident, they can get insurance and like not just like get in an accident and run off. Like they can actually, they can have the right to drive, but they can also be held accountable. Well, apparently that makes it so that the rest of our IDs mean nothing, which is kind of sad. This one's cool. Got like a swordfish here. But it's like, it's just interesting how we're, supposed to be able to freely travel around in this country. That's supposed to be one of our rights. And now all of a sudden we have to purchase not only our state ID, but we have to purchase another ID. I'm sounding very like conspiracy theorist or like radical today. I'm probably, hey, I know how to get watch hours. I will say some controversial things on my YouTube channel and the FBI, CIA will all watch my show. Sweet! I'm getting monetized. Yeah, hold on one second. Otherwise, the meow is going to get louder and louder and louder and louder and louder. I'll be right back. Meow. How's my robotic kitty? Do you need some oil? Alright, I'm back. Oh no. I was making these beautiful little stacks and stuff. I was making these beautiful little stacks and stuff in here of all the coins. Everything was getting all organized. Yeah. Can't have nice things and a robotic cat. Nope. Can't do it. Alright. This pile is getting smaller. Yes. That was a lot of coins to dump out. This is how my desk used to be. So much more civilized now. Like when I roll hunted, like literally, like it was like if you've like seen like movies where there's just like stacks of coins and like there's just like a person sitting at a desk in between all the coins. They're my coins. Yeah. I think I may have maybe streaming too long today. You're actually getting to see a little bit of my personality. I try to usually stay kind of. So for whatever reason, they decided to X out the nickels too, which almost makes me wonder if some of them were silver. Yeah, it's one of those robotic pets, and I've got to feed it oil every little once in a while, or it goes like totally nuts. But it's like kind of like an alarm clock where it's like meow, and then it goes up one decimal, meow, and then it goes up again, meow, and it just keeps going until it like hits this pitch that it's like, oh my god, I'm gonna go crazy. And so I think that this came from like a belly dancer. It's like paper thin. It's pretty strong. Looks like it has a little piece of plastic showing through the forehead. I don't think that this is real at all. It just looked kind of cool. Yeah, don't you guys oil your cats? What do you guys... This one? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this would be considered like an act of terrorism now. Trying to get those watch hours. Terrorism? Anybody gonna watch me if I say terrorism? But yeah, let's say I didn't do this. But anybody ever see anybody put like a coin on a railroad track? I'm pretty sure that this is from a railroad track coin. See, I got another person watching me. You say the right words, and you get watch time on YouTube. We'll send something else. um, yeah. So I used to enjoy watching people put these on railroad tracks. It's nowadays I'm pretty sure if a kid was see there's another watcher. You just say terrorism and watch. Well, see, got another one. Here, let's see if we can get 11. Terrorism. No. Okay. I guess there's only so many government entities that have free time to watch it after. All right. So yeah, so it looks like this is an act of terrorism. A small child was left alone and was entertaining themselves and put a nickel on the railroad track, and that's what this looks like happened. I'll have to remember that trick. It's a good way to get watch hours. But all my real watchers just fled. They're like, dude, that's called ringing the dinner bell. Don't do that. Don't do that. I am now in my private sandbox. YouTube has quarantined me. I am a contagion. We've got a little 5-cent piece here, or a little 5-pence piece. Here we've got a new one. We have not seen this one before. It's pretty damaged. Feels like a piece of plastic. What is it? Queen Elizabeth II. They actually went all out there, though. I mean, they could have done like the Roman numerals, but no. This country, they went all out, and you know they could afford to, because this coin is like plastic. And survey says it is the Caribbean states. The Caribbean states. I didn't realize that, or it's the East Caribbean states. I didn't realize that there was more than one Caribbean state, and that the East Caribbean states. Sorry. My respect to the Caribbean states, because they actually wrote the entire word second there, and that's more than any other country I have ever seen. That's more respect to Queen Elizabeth II than I have seen on any coin. Most countries, they just go for the Roman numerals. It's easy to do. It's been done before, but they went all out there. My respect. I believe we have another little Canadian coin. This one's got some stormy seas. 1973. It's like, the funny thing is, like, this one almost like feels like it kind of like has a silver like feel to it, but it obviously cannot be. Obviously not. See, I'm totally in a quarantined. I'm totally quarantined in a sandbox now. You guys are all gone. But we did get an 11th watcher, so maybe saying terrorism, maybe that works. But it seems to only work for a minute. So we've got a 1-pence piece here from Ireland. This one's got a little bit of red-brown toning on it. And it is not completely destroyed. And for the record, I do not oil my cat. That was a joke. I'm not trying to promote animal cruelty here. And yes, Magic is a real cat. So just know I'm not oiling Magic. Here we've got another Irish coin from 1975. Kind of looks like ink, but it looks a little sticky too. 2-pence piece. Almost looks like a bird. Like, I know it's supposed to be like Celtic knots, but it almost looks like a bird caught in like fishing line. It's like eating its own leg, trying to like free itself. And here we have another coin from Christopher Walkenland. I believe this is from Greece. But I just totally think it looks like Christopher Walken. And it looks like whoever I see the KK initials on most of these, and so it looks like whoever makes the coins in Greece. It seems like they got a lot of work. Could somebody say something, please? I totally feel like I got like quarantined in like a sandbox by YouTube for like saying those words. Or say nothing and make me even more like, what's going on? Coronavirus. Yes, coronavirus. Actually, coincidentally, coronavirus, some people here in Humboldt County, California, where I live, are actually self-quarantined for coronavirus here. Okay, thank God. I mean, or wait, are you the CIA pat piling pennies? You're the FBI, you're Big Brother. You two make America great again. You guys are all out to get me. Oh my God, I forgot I had a sense of humor. Yeah, for the most part, I usually sit around going through coins quietly. Very, very, very quietly. I live a very peaceful, quiet existence. Most people here in California do not like my darker sense of humor, so I have learned to just be quiet. It's like I'm having a great time, having a good conversation. They seem like real people, they've got good energy. And I make a dark joke, and all of a sudden they're like, and like, it's not just one of them, it's just they're all like, I'm like, what? They're like, that was really dark. I don't think I can talk to you anymore. I'm like, cause I said something dark? I don't know. On the East Coast, people have like a super dark sense of humor. I don't know what it is. They just do. Just a plumber and a cleaner. It's like, can't remember what movie it was. Can't remember if it's the movie Brazil, but there's like the guy who was like, I want to say it's like Al Pacino or something like that, and I feel like I'm mixing up two different movies. But there's like the guy who like comes and like repairs the person's furnace, and but like he like plants a bomb in there instead, and then there's like a huge explosion, and can't quite remember, but I don't know. I guess that movie kind of was like terroristic, but it had some good songs in it, good dreamlike sequences. Very, very catchy song. Do 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 da 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 da. Alright, I'll stop singing before you guys all go, or whatever that was. I'm not sure. I think it might actually be like the Brazil national anthem. So I feel like, or at least like, I feel like whenever I'm watching things from Brazil, like I hear that song. It always sounds really pretty. Got a little rogue wheat scent in here. And somehow invaded our foreign coin box. It wants to be foreign, it's just not. Alright, is this another coin from Korea? Dun, 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 dun. Nope, this is from that same batch that we didn't know. Anybody in here watching that knows where this one is from? When they're nice enough to give us the date and English numerals, they're able to tell us that it is 10 something. But I know not. it's like this little symbol over here kind of looks like, I don't know, like the little V kind of looks like a roof. I know, it's like some of that, sometimes like the, I can't even think of the right word for the lettering, but sometimes, China? Sometimes like the little pictures, I feel like sometimes they like look like they make sense, which is kind of cool. It's like languages that kind of like the letters and stuff kind of look like pictures. It's nice when there's like some sense to them. It's like, oh, okay, I can understand why someone would use this to you know, explain a word in a language. I don't know if you guys can hear that, like my leg is shaking a little bit. I think it's because I have like 90% caffeine in me. $1971. Nice. Yeah, do you know, I guess that was one of the things that I didn't know. I guess I could put it on my spare phone. But how big of a company does produces Coinoscope? Just because with some of these apps, and I'm not saying with this one, but I've used apps before that then later on I learned more about the companies themselves. And they weren't companies I wanted to give access to my photos and stuff on my phone. Like sometimes just because a company creates a cool app that can do something, it doesn't mean that I want to like allow them access to like my camera and like my like phone. There's like some companies out there, I mean really what company doesn't abuse the information you give them, but yeah, the whole idea, the whole product, what it can do seems awesome. I'll have to look it up. But there was definitely like, I mean, it's like, I guess like, you know, it's like, I feel like better usually when if I've already given access to a company that like already is like a daily necessity. I just try to watch out how many companies I'm doing, just because oftentimes companies aren't even what they seem. They're just, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like, I don't know, just because something seems hot and awesome, and then later on you find out that they were really working for another company. I don't know, I guess like an example would be, what was that one that got busted? I think it was in the UK. Oh yeah, that's a good example, the Huawei. I'm not pronouncing it right, but yeah, that sounded really sketchy. But what's the one who took all the Facebook ads, or took all the Facebook profiles, because Facebook, it was something Analytica, and they basically like took everyone's information and then like used it to like target. It's just like a bunch of these companies, it's like it's like, how could we convince somebody to give us all their information? It's like, I know, let's create an app that like makes their face look all crazy, and then we'll like post it all over social media and make it a fad, and then everyone has to download it because everyone wants to, you know, try that new thing. And then you find out like, oh, it's like the program itself, yeah, it does this cool app thing, but it's actually just a Trojan that you willingly downloaded on your phone because it's cool to do. Hey, check out this new Trojan I just got. Like, it's totally gives you backdoor access into everything on your phone, and it gives you this cool effect. It's awesome. Like, it's so cool. It's like people get all excited about like these like Trojan viruses. I don't know. It's like coming here on YouTube. I got a little bit more experience because I did Twitch before I streamed games. And oh my gosh, the like constant, I mean, it was hostile, it was toxic, but people would try to basically like steal your information. They'd try to like compromise your accounts. It was like a game for them. You know, it was a hacker game. And so like, you know, being on here on YouTube, it's not nearly as bad. Looks like this is the 125-year anniversary of Canada. It's not as bad, but it's like, being here on YouTube, it's like you put your face on the internet, you make videos and stuff, and people are like, oh, looks fun to hack that person. I'll hack that person. I'd probably say I get 10 times the phishing emails, some of the phishing emails, and so it's like I keep changing around my accounts. And I've actually been doing a little bit of fun stuff with some of the stuff. I've been trying to figure out who it is. And I'm getting places from all over the world, really. I've been tracing IPs and stuff, because I know a little bit. But it's like the people have gotten good. Like they've actually been able to like identify different family members and like create stuff to look like they're written from them. You know, they're above and beyond the normal like phishing. However, my favorite phishing email that got so close to making me click on it, it was pretty darn good. I have a PayPal account because I sell on eBay, and I get a receipt that looked like an authentic PayPal receipt, and it's a $1,225 receipt for an automatic assault rifle. And I'm just like, wait, I didn't buy an assault rifle, not today. It so made me like almost click on it. It got a reaction from me where I was almost like, I need to click in. I didn't order that. Like, you know, like I wouldn't have ordered that brand. But so made me almost click on it. That was like the best one I've ever seen. This one, I have no idea. But it was kind of ingenious because I've gotten a lot, like I've seen some imaginative ones, but not many. I have no idea where this came from. I'd almost say that it feels like silver, but in here it definitely looks like it has a copper core. And I don't know, this looks like maybe somebody's fun jewelry project. It's got like Saturn, or is that Jupiter? Oh, my brain, where's it going? Need some food. And looks kind of like some like kind of ancient kind of symbol. Maybe it's the sun. But I think I found that. Might have been metal detecting. Let's see, how about it's time for another half penny. This one looks like it's got a little bit of paint on it. It looks like it has really nice details. It's got some rim dings on it though. This one is 1937. I'd like to see if I can find those other, like I did find 3 or 4 pretty nice looking, like they looked BU. They might have been like a red brown, but they were really pretty. And I assume that these were all bright red when they were first made. I'd like to maybe like see a couple different ones, see if the ships are all different. I'm imagining they didn't. I think I remember the other one we looked at, there were 3 crow's nests. And then it looked like there was like a little hawk sitting on the back of the boat, so this looks like the same design. But I tell you guys, this pile is getting smaller. And it looks like we have another coin from Greece. And so I'm not sure what this is supposed to show. I mean, it looks like an atom with like neutrons or neutrinos or something going around it. I mean, it kind of reminds me of like a radioactive, but it's like protons and neutrons going around a nucleus maybe. It's like some of the things they like did in ancient Greece, it's like just kind of seems amazing. Sometimes it's like interesting to wonder about kind of like what technology has been lost. It's like how many civilizations have like rose and fell, and it's like how far have other civilizations got? You know, it's like we're taught to believe that we're the best, that this is the highest point of civilization, but then we're constantly finding evidence of like, you know, really intelligently done things in the past. And it's like, how do we know that other civilizations haven't risen farther and then, you know, gotten to the point of like, you know, kind of like a climate crisis like we're debatingly having now? And how do we know that they didn't clean up and fix things? How do we know that they didn't create some sort of technology to somehow reverse things? They created some sort of bacteria that ate all of the plastic on the earth. They ate up bacteria that, you know, ate up all of the trash, all of the metal, all of the everything, and turned it back into, you know, something that the earth could digest. Seems like I almost have a full roll of quarters. What to do with them now? Looks like we have another penny. A real penny. 1939. It's a pretty cool looking lighthouse. I believe that's a lighthouse. It probably looks like I'm fingering these. I'm trying really hard not only to kind of use the edges of my fingernails to hold them and pick them up. But as you can see on my fingers, like they definitely are getting a little bit of stuff. But hopefully all that dirt has soaked up any finger oils I did have. It's like a fairly nice one. I don't know how common these are these days. Yeah, right? The awful things that we say that are true. It's like, it's true but awful. Yeah, I guess that's what, I don't know, that's kind of the stuff that worries me is that, oh, actually, remind me, I got a bid on an auction within 8 minutes. And so, in about 5 minutes, I'm not going to end the stream, I'm just going to flip over in the browser and do it, because the next auction that I have ending that I want to bid on is like another 3 hours or something. And so we'll be finished up with this long beyond, and we can move on to a different project today. But get that out of there. I thought I was like, oh wow, it's really old. Nope, wrong date. But yeah, I guess it kind of worries me. Just it seems like every 100 years we've got like some sort of pandemic. It's like the 100-year flu. There's just always something that kind of happens that kind of equalizes everything. And it's like, I don't want to see a bunch of people die. I'm not about people dying. I know the world's overpopulated. I know there's only so many, you know, there's only so much resources. And here's another New York Transit Authority. It's interesting how some of them, I can't remember if they were the New York ones as well. Yeah, they're the New York. Some of them have like that Y in the center is hollow. Kind of gives them an interesting look. And this one is different. No cash value. What are we? Redwood Country. Hey, I live in Redwood Country. Where is this from? Sharkies. Hey, this is from Humboldt County. This is I have no idea what Sharkies is. I have no idea how I got this. But Eureka, it's in the county that I'm in. And we do have sharks in the water here. A lady actually got bit at the beach near my house. Like a bunch of small ones had like washed up on shore, and so that everyone was taking photographs of it, and she just got kind of close to it, and I think she got like bit in the foot. It wasn't super happy. Like she had to get medical attention. But yeah, if you see like a shark on the beach flailing around, don't mess with it. That's my advice. Just because it's not in the water. Thanks, Pat's Piling Pennies. Thank you for stopping by. We've only got like maybe like 30 more coins here to go. And you're always welcome to come check it out after. But I wish you a great day. Thanks so much for stopping by. Thanks for the info. Speaking of here, I'm just gonna. Nice, sold some stuff on eBay. I just need to log into eBay because I don't think I've logged in today. Have you guys ever gone to bid on an auction and then it's like right when you go to confirm bid, it's like you need to sign in, and it's like you're like waiting to snipe bid. Good times. Alright, got 5 minutes. Alright, so I'm not even sure what that was for. No cash value, Redwood Country, Sharkies. I imagine that it's... I almost think there was... I almost want to say it's a burger place where the owner of it got arrested for like child stuff. Yeah. Is that the right place? Fascinating. Great memories associated with that coin. Have a great day, Pat. I'll see you again in the future. I'll have to come. I'm trying to remember what videos you make, but I try to go and watch everyone else's videos and see what other people are up to, because it's the best way for me to learn, and we all do something different. So I'll come try to check you out when I can. This weekend, it seems like I have lots of time to actually be able to stream, and so that is what I've been trying to do. It's like we got a 1954p here. And we have a 1967. Did it say what it was? Looks like this one is British. Pence. 6 pence, 1967. So would a 6 pence be like 6 cents? Do pence work as cents always? It's just interesting all the different fractional pieces there are. I find it pretty cool. This one's got some bling. It's still pretty bright. These almost look like little sunflower sprouts. They also kind of look like dragonflies. And it looks like, it's like in one sense it looks like a wheat stalk, and then it kind of looks like a calla lilies. Some fancy. Yeah, it is a worry. And I mean, the other part of it is like everybody is basically asking for things to change. And so basically it's like, they're like, you're telling us to do it, and we're trying to put, you know, I feel like, what's that movie, like Ragnarok? Or not Ragnarok, like it's like one of the sci-fi, it's one of the comic book ones, and it's like half of Infinity Wars, maybe? No, it's the one where like the guy wins and like half of the population just disappears, like they never were there. But it's like people want change, and it's just whatever that change is going to be, I mean, it's like, I feel like it's far easier for something horrible like that to happen than for everyone to change. You know, it's like people say they want change, but nobody wants to change themselves. And it's like, it really seems like things like that. All right, I've got 1 minute till that auction ends. Watch, I'll miss it. But it's just kind of sad. Like nobody wants to change, and then like governments, like I feel like they do know. It looks like that one was from Greece as well. It seems like they do know that things have to change. 30 seconds. 20 seconds. So we've got a 1968. 15 seconds. Looks like new pence. Alright, I'm just gonna go back. 17 seconds. So bear with me, guys. I believe this will still be moving here. 10 seconds. 5, 4. This is how you snipe bed. Oh god. Alright, got it. Sweet. Nice. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I thought I would be done. I thought I was going to take a break long before then, but now my work is done for the day. I got what I was looking for. So, a new pence. 10 new pence. That's a happy looking lion. I don't know. It looks friendly. It doesn't look like the kind that's going to like rip your head off. It's interesting, the green on this. I wouldn't expect to find this kind of green. Maybe it's from other coins that were in there with it. But it's funny. This reminds me very much of like say the front of the Canadian cent. It's like the sides are reversed. The Elizabeth II would be here, and the Diagrada Regina would be on this side, but it like the portrait and the crown, they look the same. I feel like for the same time period in Canada. But this one is British, I would assume. What do we have here? Very, 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 very light Canadian. Like this one doesn't even feel like it's steel. It feels like it's plastic. It's fascinating. Yeah, I think I have a full roll of Canadian dimes now, and then a few to boot. 1979. Yeah, these Canadian dimes, they feel even. Yeah, I was going to say, this must be a 19... Oh wait, it's a 78, not a 68. But wherever all these came from, it's like they came from the same place, because all of the Canadian ones are like X'd out and scratched out. She's been on 33 different currencies. That is pretty impressive. I hear Britain's making a comeback. And Brexit is just the beginning. I just want everybody to be happy. I don't care who's in charge, what's going on. I just want families to be able to be families, for people to be able to be people, for people to pursue their dreams, do what they love doing. So I don't think we should all just be cogs in the wheel. Yeah, I feel like I'm talking, what is this? I haven't seen one of these. got an eagle. Is this a real coin? Let's flip it over. I have no idea what this is. It's got some goo on it. Okay, yep. No cash value. Thought we were seeing something cool here for a second. No cash. So this must be like a carnival. Like when I was a kid, there were I'd go to the fair and there were these, like, they still have them. I've actually seen YouTube videos of like high stake ones, but there's like these like coin pushing machines, and like the ones I went to would be like a clown and the feet would be pushing all the quarters forward, but they'd use tokens usually. And then you could drop them in. It was kind of like a skill shot thing, and there would always be like knives and stuff. So I was like a little kid. I'm like, I want knives. And so I'd like pump all my money into these things, and like you'd get like tokens back. And then you could put the tokens in to try to win the prizes. But I'm guessing that's where this came from. It seemed like there was a bunch of different kinds of tokens there. I bet on eBay you could probably buy a bunch of these, but it's actually not. I mean, you know, I've seen some counterfeit coins, and this is better than some counterfeit coins I've seen. I mean, it's not highly detailed, but they did a fairly good job, you know, making a semi-attractive coin. Like, something didn't quite seem right. Like, I'm like, okay, this is looking like it's trying to be American coinage, but it's like, yeah, look at that eagle's leg or whatever that is there. Is that supposed to be arrows? The person probably could have done a little bit better job. I mean, it almost looks like they took parts of like a large cent and kind of like pick and chose. Like, they took the stars, they took those little branches from the wreath on the reverse. Looks like they even got credit RWM. Whether that is the company or if that's the person's initials, I don't know. But those were fun. I had a lot of fun. I remember I came home from the fair one year and I got like 40 knives or something like that. It was like just ridiculous. There was like, I like volunteered at like a knife booth, and it was like, they had like these little rings, and basically the guy set up all these knives and stabbed them into the table, and then there was kind of like one of those rotating displays that they have, and all the big knives were up on the top rotating, and so like you'd get like 20 rings for $1 or something like that. And then if you could like basically like throw the knife or throw the little like plastic ring around a knife, you got that knife. And so I would always go there and try to volunteer with the guy. And he basically, if I picked up all the rings and like gave them to people and stuff for their money and brought him the money, and he could just sit there and smoke cigarettes and drink beer, he'd give me like so many free rings every hour. And so I'd come back with a bunch, or he'd just pay me knives if I wanted knives. And good times. Just what like 4, 5, 6-year-olds need, like tons of knives. And I think I'd go and sell them at school. How times have changed. I don't know. It's like it seems like so much. It's like there's like, I don't know, a way for people to make money, and it's like no, somebody's getting ahead here. We need to regulate this industry. An industry cannot, if someone's making money, it means we're not taxing it enough. If somebody is like, you know, able to achieve the American dream doing this, it means we need to tax it more. We need to tax it to the point where somebody cannot make a living. Because otherwise somebody might get ahead and they might escape the wheels of the machine and be an independent thinking machine. And being independent and able to think for yourself, that is a danger. It is way too dangerous. I don't know. It's like, I feel like if we want to produce young, bright people, we need to teach them to think. We need to teach them to have a mind. and we need to teach them to, work hard, and like make a name for themselves. Like, don't just be content working, flipping burgers. Not that there's anything wrong with flipping burgers. It's right for some people. But I don't know, just it seems like we could be encouraging people a lot better. It's like when you're in school, they could really listen to your dreams and they could really point you to where you actually could excel and be happy. Because people who are happy doing what they are doing, they spread good stuff. They inspire others. I cannot see the date on this one. I'm guessing it's a 19 something. I don't think we have found a rare buffalo nickel here. We've got another one of these. And did somebody wager a guess on this earlier? This one almost looks a little bit different. This reminds me of the one that I thought kind of looked like a wheat stalk, but then kind of looked like calla lilies. This one is a little bit different. I feel like it's definitely the same kind of language. If we're going to want to overcome the challenges that we're being presented in this lifetime, we're going to have to really be investing in young people and all people, and let people like live to their full potential. I don't know. I don't believe in people being like a product. I don't think everyone should just be worked to death. It seems like if we need meaning. People need meaning. It's like without hopes, without dreams, we don't need a bunch of people that aren't alive or awake. We need people that are alive and awake. And I don't know, when I walk around, I definitely see a lot of people who are not awake. Like the Sharky coin from Eureka. When I go to Eureka, it's not... You think it's rice? I kind of thought rice too. I didn't say it though. Yeah, we could use some more trade schools where I am. It's like you get a washing machine or an appliance that breaks. Somebody comes to the house, they get on their phone for a little bit, they try to fix, hey, we got a date on a buffalo nickel, 1723. Some super environmental damage, but basically they look at it for 2 hours and then they scratch their head and say that'll be $200 and you still got a broken washer. I just, basically we don't have any skilled people around here. When somebody actually came and fixed something at my house for once, I could not believe it. I was like, where did you come from? Oh, I just moved here from out of there. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. People around here, it seems like people know how to grow pot here, and that's about it. Nothing against pot. It's fine. So here we got a Irish punt. 1 punt. I've never seen one of these before in Ireland. I don't know if they're mythical at this point, but I've never seen one. I've seen a lot of animals in Ireland. This one is pretty nice. So I'm assuming a punt is like the equivalent of a pound. Yeah. I was watching somebody play like Sims the other day, and it was like they adopted a kid in the game, and this is the last coin, by the way. We've made it through. And the person adopted a kid, and they're like, oh, we better feed it quick, otherwise CPS is going to come and take the kid away. And I'm just like, what? There's CPS in the game? Like, this game is intense. But at the same time, it's good if people are going to play video games and then decide to have kids. It's probably a good thing that they're aware of such things and they can't just sit there and ignore their kid crying because they need a bottle and they've got a dirty diaper and, oh yeah, I'll change your diaper after I level up here. Oh wait, CPS is coming to the game. Oh wait, yeah right, CPS can come in real life. I should change your diaper and feed you. So that one was a deer. Okay, cool. A beautiful deer. I've never met an Irish deer. Well, I've met a few beautiful Irish deer, but they weren't deer. They were just young, beautiful lasses. That's another story. Next time, I'll tell that story. So, I can't actually believe we're all the way through those already. I will try to look up some of these. I'm going to put some of these back. But I'll have to check out the ones, I believe none of those are silver because they're all X'd out. And I believe that I believe this one from the Philippines is silver, but I'm not 100% sure. It is a later date here, but it is 1963, so it seems like most of the world changed them by then. And I'm curious of what this Monte Carlo, to me, I want to say it's 50 cents, but why make a 50-cent token? Like, I feel like it should be like a $50, and then if it is the Monte Carlo still around? But I want to look that one up just in case, like, maybe there's like resale value on casino tokens. But that was this box, and I'm sure I have some more around. I mean, if you guys really enjoy them, I can probably order some more. I don't, like, Les, I know that you've been ordering some. How did you feel about that 5 kilogram bag that you ordered? Did you feel like you got like a nice selection of things? Were the quality good? Is it more fun seeing these ones that I've collected over my life? I guess I'm just curious because I've never bought like a foreign coins in bulk raw. I would have no idea what to expect. I'd probably have just as good of a time if every time I go to the bank I could say like, hey, I collect world coins. You know, go up to the teller and just, you know, while I'm cashing a check, be like, hey, I collect world coins. Any chance you have any like world coins around? Like, I'm trying to finish a collection, or I'm trying to make a YouTube video. It seems like the tellers, like when I was, if I ever expected anything, they got all like, you know, like if I went in and be like, can I get 10 penny roll boxes or 10 boxes of pennies? They'd always be like, but if I made them feel like they were helping me, they just loved it, and they would go out of their way. Like, I'd go and get a box of them, and I'd come back and they were all wheat pennies, and I swear they like rolled up an entire like bag. Either they saved them all, but I was like, there's no way. I go in there and they're like, oh yeah, did you want pennies today? Oh, here you go. But it's like I loved that when I was younger. People seem to, when they see someone passionate about something, someone with dreams, especially a young person, they really enjoy helping that person out. It's really beautiful to see. I don't know, it's like so many people seem like they've given up on their dreams, and so I feel like some people when they're older and they've kind of given up on their dreams, when they actually see someone with dreams and they feel like they can help them get there or just a little bit, I feel like it makes us all feel good when we can help someone else have their dreams come true. So I'll ask you again next time I see you, Laz, what you think about the world coins. I feel like I have a large Tupperware that like, I think I like cleaned off the top of my desk one time, and I think there's like a bunch of better date, like solid date wheat cents, and I think there might be a bunch of like Canadian rolls and stuff. We don't need to go through them all. I was more sorting those out. There was a wide variety. Were they cool? Did you love them? I enjoyed seeing the videos of them. Did you find any silver in them? Did you feel like anything of value was already picked out of them? Sorry if I'm looking off this way. It's just because I can read you guys if I'm looking that way. But I guess I'm curious. I'm almost wondering if like just trying to find something local or going to the bank, because I mean the other way I can get them is just like the way I got most of these is just going and getting boxes. Like I was finding in penny rolls, I was finding quite a few silver coins, like just buying silver or just buying penny rolls. Like those like little silver coins just seem like they somehow get stuck in the pennies instead of the dimes. But I'm trying to think, I'm probably going to have some more. The Coin Vault has opened streams today because it's only 2:49, and so I'll probably have some more of those today. I have some more PCGS coins I got to put up today. I've got more Flying Eagles if you guys want to see rolls of Flying Eagles. I don't know. I'm having fun going through stuff. And so if there's anything you guys ever want to see and I have them, I'll try my best to make that happen. But thank you guys, and thank you for dealing with my humor. I feel like, maybe my blood sugar got crazy today from only drinking coffee all day. I feel pretty silly. I feel pretty happy. I feel like I had a good time. Hope you guys did too. And here's my tip: if you guys ever want more views on your videos, if you guys ever want more watch time, say the words FBI, CIA, terrorism. Gosh, I could think of a couple other ones I just should not say. But it seems like every time I say that, I was like watching my watchers, and it was like, oh, a watcher went up. Oh, I'll say another thing. Oh, my watcher went up. So it's my little tip. How I got watched. I could just see like the video. It's like a person like holding like something looks like strangely morbid, but you can't make it out. It's like kind of one of those pics that you're like, what the heck is going on there? It's like how to get a 4,000 watch hours in 10 minutes. Yeah. More bad ideas with Time Traveler's Coin Exchange. And here I'm trying to be a professional channel. But I should start another channel. We can have a lot of fun on that one. But thank you guys all for watching. Thank you for joining. If you guys enjoyed, I'm sure you guys have already all hit the like button, and you guys are probably all subscribers because you're here. But thank you guys. I will see you guys again soon. And I think I'm actually gonna get a big meal here, so I'll probably be about an hour. I'll probably start another show at about 4 o'clock. It's almost 3 here, but maybe I'll surprise you guys and be back sooner. But I'll be able to stream longer if I take a longer break and refuel. But thank you guys all so much, and I will see you guys very soon. See you in the future. Have good nights and mornings, everyone.